What's going on, guys? It's MegaCards1 here. For today's video, we're going to be performing a review on Sunday's episode of Dragon Ball Super, episode number 99. Show them your true power, Krillin's power unleashed. So, for this week, it was a really good episode, I'll say, hands down. Toei did a really good job. I don't think it backed up. Last week's was a bit better, but this week's was really, really good. Moving on to the review. So, basically, what happened was all the fighters were stunned. There was about 1 or 2 minutes of just shit talking from the Grand Priest, or like staring and blah blah blah, between the gods and the Kaioshins and the Dakahashins, the angels, But well, it just kept building up, and then finally Zeno complained about, oh, no one's fighting, and then bang, they get onto the fight. And it starts off with Vegeta. He says, I want some payback from those Universe 6 fighters. So he goes and tries to fight Hit. However, he's deceived and he gets to fight Megetta and Batamo first. And interesting thing here is Beerus yells out to Vegeta that, oh, use what you did last time and, call him names and stuff. And he tried to Vegeta, but that didn't work. So he had to think of a new strategy, and it didn't really work this episode. For example, he had real trouble with Vegeta, Botamo. And mind you, he was in Super Saiyan, just Super Saiyan form. But, as we know, Saiyans don't want to unleash their full power on mediocre opponents. So we can see this fight leading for a while. And the fact that, what I really liked was, Batamo and Megetta, it seems like they're really good friends, especially after in the Universe 6-7 tournament, as when Vegeta, verbally abused Megetta, and then it was that Batamo was the only one there sort of cheering him up. So what happened was they ended up performing this thing. It wasn't a fusion, it was just they combined bodies together, like Botamo jumped on top of Megetta's head to block out the verbal insults, which I thought was pretty cool. And Batamo ended up calling themselves, I think it was Botagetta or something. And I thought it was a cool idea because the fact that they're both sort of combined and they can control both their weaknesses is going to be very interesting. Like, we all know Vegeta goes Super Saiyan Blue, he'll just one-shot him, but, he kind of doesn't want to, because then it sort of makes him a target, I guess. So he wants to take them out without making as if he's a target, because they already know that Universe 7 is going to get teamed up on for most of the tournament. Moving on to the next point, we had Team Universe 7. They were teaming up to defeat this parrot-like creature from Universe 10. I forgot his name. And it was really cool. Krillin threw a Destructo Disc and he threw 3. 2 missed and 1 chopped like a little bit of his feather off. And then you had yeah, so Gohan I think it was Gohan, he blocked this blast out of the way, and then Krillin came in through the Destructo Disc, and then you had, or it might have been Krillin through the Destructo Disc first, and then you had Piccolo and then Tien team up, and then Grandmaster Roshi, Master Roshi, he did a big Kamehameha wave, so that basically ended the Parrots' little run in the tournament, which I thought was quite funny. The next point, we had Android 18 having a hard time with Shouja from Universe 4. He was like a K9 type creature. Then Krillin and 18 teamed up, which a lot of people wanted to see, and they unveiled a new special teamwork move which eliminated Shouja with ease. And an interesting thing I liked about Shouja is when Android 18 did a big move on him, he played dead to make his, as if he was dead, and then Android 18 fell for it and she nearly got eliminated until Krillin saved her. He flew off, he just jumped off the ring a little bit and then caught her and jumped back in. Then we had another Universe 4 fighter. His name was Majora. He was the grey sort of fox guy from the intro, wearing the royal robes or whatever it was. And this guy was really cool. He was really, really cool. I really dig that fight because it was a real tactical fight, because the fact that Majora he was blind, and he could only sense like through smell. So it was sort of a bit like he was a bit like Daredevil, the comic book hero, how he can't see and he can sense through like senses and smells. So I that was a pretty cool aspect, and he actually was pretty dangerous because they tried a solar flare on him, and Krillin, obviously this was before he found out that he couldn't see it, and he didn't do anything, and then Majora just came in and did a really good shot on him. Other than like that part, the whole thing about Krillin using his power, it turned out to defeat Majora, he threw a shoe, and the shoe it was a real smelly shoe, and it went on top of his nose, and he couldn't sense anything. And then Krillin went bang, and then took him out. I think it was through a Kamehameha wave. Yeah, it was. I believe so. And that eliminated another Universe 4 member, so I believe that's 3 or 4 now, gone from Universe 4. I'm 3 or 4. And then we get a little feel-good moment between Krillin and 18. They were pretty happy, and then bang, kick you in the guts. Krillin's eliminated. All by pesky little Frost. And then he ran away, which was I found quite funny, because I do like though how they kept Frost being Frost and made him a bit of a coward. It sort of made his character a bit more like to make as if he was gonna like turn good again. Like that'd be really stupid. I know that they've hinted that he's gonna team up with Frieza, but with Hidden, he's like, oh, don't do anything stupid. Or I like how they kept him really dirty in this tournament, because it's good to see that they're keeping the fighters how they are normally. And one thing I will say before this review concludes, of the review summary, I really did like how Android 17 and 18 were saying that Android 17 was really cold about it. He was like, Android 18's like, oh, we're at the risk of erasure here. Does that not make you feel anything? And then he's like, no, if we're going to get erased, we get erased anyway. And then he sort of changes the mood by saying to 18, why don't we go full power? We use our power against them. Meaning like the androids can't, lose stamina. So that's interesting that they brought back that awesome mechanic from the Android arc. So I hope that they can implement it quite well. And it'll be interesting to see how they get eliminated, just by pure power, I'd assume. So next week looks awesome. It's called, the episode I think was titled The Berserker Awakens, and it looks fucking amazing. It's got Kale, it's got Khalifa, no one cares about her. I don't know why people like her, she's pretty useless. It's got Goku, it looked like it had... and then it also teased like Hit Jiren, although I don't think we're going to get Hit Jiren this early. I think if Hit was going to fight Jiren, it's going to be a bit later on. Unless like Jiren's going to make a statement and knock out Hit and one shot. But they've totally teased the Vegeta Hit fight from that episode, from Vegeta going to Hit. So I can't see Jiren fighting Hit and then not also Hit, because Hit has to fight Vegeta. I'd expect the one of them to fight Hit, both each other, and then whoever wins gets jobbed by Hit in all likeliness. But we hope not. We hope Jiren doesn't job anyone, but he has to, I guess, because he's the main sort of obstacle for Goku. Anyways, let me know how you saw this week's episode down in the comments. Feel free to like and subscribe if you like my content. And if you know any predictions for the tournament or any theories, also leave them down in the comments. Thanks again. Mega Cars are out.